What's going on, everybody? Ray here with Second Chance Rising for another Wednesday's Word. Today, love is in the air. We're talking all about love and Jesus' love and how the Sadducees and Pharisees had challenged him. So if you want to hear more about Jesus' love, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned right here. So today we're talking about Jesus' greatest commandment, which is love. Now the Pharisees had tried to trip Jesus up many times in his words, and this was no time different, but Jesus was too smart for him, and he even loved the Pharisees. But today we're in the scripture of Matthew 22, and we're in verse 34 about the most important commandment, and it reads like this. But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees with his reply, they met together to question him. One of them, an expert in religious law, tried to trap him with this question. Teacher, which is the most important commandment in the law of Moses? And Jesus replied, you must love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. A second, equally important, is love your neighbor as yourself. The entire law and all this demands of the prophets are based on these two commandments. Now, why was love so important to Jesus? Why was this the most important commandment? It begs to ask us some different questions. We know it's important because in the King James Version, love is mentioned 310 times. In the NLT version, it's actually mentioned 898 times, so we know that the topic of love is very important. Jesus even goes so far as to ask us to love our enemies. We know that if we love one another like ourselves and love, there's no hate in our heart. We know that we would never mistreat anyone if we have love in our heart. If we love everybody with kindness, if we love everyone and treat them the way that we want to be treated, then we would never do anybody harm. Everything else, all the other sins would always work itself out. We wouldn't gossip against them. We wouldn't lie to them. We would be generous with them. We would be helpful with them. We would be kind to them. And it's these things that we understand that why love is so important and why it is the greatest commandment. And Jesus goes even one step further, not just to love the Lord, the God, and the people that we agree with, but our enemies as well. Now, I call this a love out of this world because that is what's so hard for us. It is definitely easy for us to love those that we agree with and that we can get along with. But what about those that we don't agree with? What about those that look different than us? You know, these times it does make it difficult, and we have to rely on Jesus and learn how to love like he loves, love how to forgive like he forgives. In Matthew chapter 5, it says this, but I say, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. In that way, you will be acting as true children of your Father in heaven. We know this is not easy for us. I mean, can we imagine our friend that's let us down, the time that we may have needed help and no one was around to help us? Those are the times that we still have to show that generosity and that love and that kindness that Jesus is teaching us to do. I hope that this has helped you. I hope that if you like these words, maybe you know someone that needs to hear this message. I would appreciate if y'all shared it, support us. Like our page, subscribe to our page. We love you, and we hope to see you next week again. God bless you, and keep looking up.